Dear friends, welcome to another episode of Military Operations. In this video, we will discuss a proposal put forward by President Donald Trump, who stated his desire to take control of the Gaza Strip, not ruling out the deployment of American troops to the region. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to do so and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. Before diving into the details of Trump's proposal, we need to understand Gaza's importance within the geopolitics of the Middle East. This region has been a conflict epicenter for decades. Originally part of the British Mandate of Palestine, Gaza was occupied by Egypt after the 1948 war, when Israel declared its independence. In 1967, during the Six-Day War, Israel captured Gaza and maintained control until 2005, when it unilaterally withdrew, leaving the region under the administration of the Palestinian Authority. However, just 2 years later, a civil war between Fatah, the main party of the Palestinian Authority, and Hamas led to Hamas taking full control of Gaza. Since then, Hamas has been engaged in repeated clashes with Israel. With the war initiated by Hamas in October 2023, nearly all of Gaza's infrastructure was destroyed, with entire cities, where Hamas hid behind civilians, turning into piles of rubble. Trump's idea of taking control of Gaza cannot be analyzed in isolation. It must be seen within this historical context of attacks, wars, resistance, and conflict resolution attempts. During a White House press conference, standing next to Benjamin Netanyahu, Trump presented his vision of transforming Gaza into a new paradise under U.S. control, even comparing it to a future Riviera. He stated that the United States would take responsibility for removing unexploded ordnance, clearing debris, and completely rebuilding the area. However, what drew the most attention was his suggestion that Palestinians should permanently leave the region. Trump argued that Gaza had never worked and that its inhabitants only wanted to return because they had no alternatives. This statement raises fundamental questions. Where would these people go? Who would guarantee their rights? And above all, is this proposal viable from a humanitarian and legal standpoint? One of the most critical aspects of this plan is the potential deployment of American troops to Gaza. When asked about the necessity of military intervention, Trump did not rule out the use of force, stating that the United States would do whatever is necessary to ensure stability in the region. This statement is paradoxical, considering that Trump has always criticized prolonged U.S. involvement in Middle Eastern conflicts. It is important to remember that during his electoral campaign, Trump promised to withdraw troops from regions like Syria, arguing that American resources should be spent elsewhere. Yet now he is proposing the exact opposite, a military occupation of an extremely volatile territory. In Gaza, insurgencies and extremist groups could turn any mission into a never-ending logistical and strategic nightmare. Furthermore, an American military occupation of Gaza would raise a series of legal questions. Under what authority could the United States justify this action? Would there be support from other Western allies? And how would Congress react to a possible long-term mission? These are critical points that cannot be ignored and make this proposal even more controversial. The international response to Trump's plan was swift, with countries like Egypt and Jordan, which already host large Palestinian populations, rejecting the idea of taking in more refugees. They argued that such an influx could create political and social instability within their own territories. The Palestinian community itself, which has historically resisted any attempt at forced removal, strongly opposed the plan. Even within the United States, the proposal faces significant skepticism. Senator Lindsey Graham, one of the most influential Republicans in Congress, publicly expressed doubt that the American people would support a military mission to take control of Gaza. Other Republican Party members have also expressed doubts about the financial, political, and military costs of such an endeavor. For American society, the memory of the endless war in Afghanistan is still fresh, a conflict that claimed nearly 2,500 American lives and cost an astronomical $8 trillion. For many, the Gaza Strip represents a serious risk of becoming another never-ending war in the Middle East, draining U.S. resources and lives for many years to come. Trump's statements come at a sensitive moment, amid a ceasefire following months of intense fighting between Israel and Hamas. For Palestinians, this proposal feels like a new form of colonization, and potentially an incentive for more violence and insurgency. Another significant impact concerns the Abraham Accords, signed during Trump's first term, which normalized relations between Israel and several Arab nations. Saudi Arabia has already stated that it will not accept a peace agreement without guarantees for the creation of a Palestinian state. By proposing the permanent removal of Palestinians from Gaza, Trump is, in practice, undermining any future negotiations with the Saudis. Another interesting aspect is the relationship between Trump and Netanyahu. Although they are strong political allies, their partnership has had moments of significant tension. When Netanyahu recognized Joe Biden's victory in 2020, Trump was furious and even publicly insulted him. However, now that Trump is back in power, Netanyahu seems eager to restore their alliance, especially if it means unrestricted U.S. support for Israel's actions in Gaza, and most importantly, more direct American involvement in the region. If this happens, it would significantly reduce Israel's war costs, both financially and in terms of Israeli soldier casualties. Since returning to the presidency, Trump has already reversed arms restrictions on Israel, allowing the delivery of heavy bombs that had been suspended under Biden. This shift signals a high level of support from the new U.S. administration for Israel's war efforts, and a notable silence on its broader implications. Trump's plan for Gaza raises more questions than answers. How would it be implemented? Who would finance this operation? How would the Palestinians react? And what would be the global consequences of this decision? The truth is that, at this moment, this proposal seems more like a political maneuver than a concrete plan. However, given Trump's influence in his history of making unexpected decisions, this is a topic that deserves close attention. Donald Trump's proposal to take control of the Gaza Strip raises numerous strategic, humanitarian, and political questions. Is it a revolutionary idea or just a risky maneuver? Are the United States prepared to face the consequences of such a controversial action? Leave your opinion in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to follow more analyses like this.